doesn't get much more bizarre than flat earth theorists, right? Well, that is what popular opinion would have you believe, except, according to a 2018 report, almost a third of millennials believe that the Earth is indeed flat. What? A third of millennials actually think that this is actually this? I wanna take you for a ride. Flat earthers love these sort of stats and factoids, anything that can help them justify that more and more people believe in what they are bringing to the table, when in actual fact, it's all bogus. Whoever tallied that up were completely wrong. Don't believe me? Look it up yourself. And before we go ahead, I believe that the Earth is round, it's a globe, it's a ball shape, and it definitely is a planet. But today I plan to look into a few projects created by people that believe that it is actually completely flat. This isn't what the Earth looks like, this is what the Earth looks like. And can I just pause for a second here, because I am quite fascinated by people that actually believe this sort of stuff, because for me the biggest issue I have with the whole flat earth model is just how spaced out these sections over here actually are. Can a flat earther please comment below and explain to me just how this icy wall has gone from this to this? Does this little bump here exist? What about these little notches over here? Flat earthers are so obsessed with proof, and I really want to know where they got the geographical evidence to debunk Antarctica's Metroid shape and instead come up with their own shape. I mean, has somebody actually gone out there and measured the biggest area of landmass on this disk-based planet? Or is it all just completely made up? Oh, what have I done? Well, whilst the comment section argues over itself with their tinfoil hats on, I'm just gonna say, hey there guys, I'm Daniel Ibbotson aka DJ Slope, and this is 4 dumb Kickstarters that prove that the Earth is flat. Welcome to Slope's Game Room. But first, for all of you guys out there that are getting fed up with the cutesy RPGs that you play, well, you're in luck, because this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Of course. Yeah, you guys want something with more dark fantasy and realism? Well, check the link in the description. And whilst playing, why not make your way over to the tavern to upgrade your champion to the best he or she can be? Or go over to the portal and summon some awesome new characters like Wretch and Blood Painter. My god, look at the graphics, guys! Then of course choose any of those champions to fight with your teammates in the clan boss area to win awesome rewards, or the arena where you can go up against other players in the main fully voiced story campaign to increase the XP of your characters, or even the dungeons where you can fight against 10 different bosses to win new artifacts that will help your champion get even stronger. For me, it's all about getting those new champions, putting it on multi-battle at double the speed and building up the stats as best they can whilst I work on a new video. However, something that's even more exciting than all of this is the new Battle Pass, which is in its first season and available right now. Win awesome rewards including free energy refills, gems, upgrades, artifact sets, and new epic and legendary champions by fulfilling the daily and weekly challenges. Guys, Raid Shadow Legends is where you gotta be. Go and use my link below, get yourself 100,000 silver completely for free. But also, if you do it within the next 30 days, you get the amazing champion, Hexweaver. Come on, can't be bad, right? And new players will be able to find these rewards in the inbox right here. So, whilst your new favourite game is downloading on your mobile or your desktop, let's carry on with the video. Would you believe it if I told you that actually one of the most requested kick scammer topics for me to cover is actually a whole episode based on positive ones? As in a whole episode of kick scammers that were based on successful Kickstarters? You guys don't want to see that. Although technically I have done one before. You can click the link above if you want to see that one. And you know what? I'm going to do one more right now. But don't you worry guys, this one comes with a twist. Of course, this is the NASA Past Present Dreams of the Future book, which by all accounts is actually quite the stunning coffee table book. Besides its seriously hefty price tag, the book that boasted over 300 pages of ultra high definition imagery showcasing the best and most important parts of NASA's history, and best of all, it's all 100% original photography. The campaign obviously hit its goal and then some. It was projected to be shipped out as of November of 2019, and according to the updates in the comment section, everybody got theirs before Christmas. In other words, it's quite literally the perfectly managed project with a product that in the end, backers and critics alike all praised, giving near perfect scores around the world. So why am I talking about it on Kickscammers then? Well, during its funding phase, it wasn't exactly clear sailing for Benedict Redgrove, the campaign owner. You see, the money needed to fund a book like this was extremely high, £157,000 to be exact, and Benedict decided that the best way to go about chasing that figure would be to buy some adverts on Facebook and Instagram for about $200 to $300 a piece. He created his advert, it got approved, he saw a small influx, and it got removed. Okay, he tried again, it got approved, he saw a small influx, and it got removed again. This happened reportedly about 10 times. So, what was the issue? Well, it was obviously lunar landing theorists and of course, flat earthers. They collectively hit the bad feedback button so hard that the ads would constantly get pulled. Thankfully, Benedict used this to his advantage, contacting different news sites to report on the story, which in all honesty didn't get Facebook's attention, but he did end up getting hold of an advertising agency who actually had contacts within Facebook who would eventually keep those ads up. But on top of this, he also reported this to his Kickstarter backers, who all took it upon themselves to heavily promote the project for free. So, in other words, thanks Flat Earthers, you've just proven yourself wrong again. As you already know, this obviously done the trick, as the book ended up getting £191,901 by 1,249 backers, and as stated, everybody was happy. Well, almost everyone. So, where are we going to go for this segment then? I suppose we could look at Jerry Williams, a guy that basically started up a Kickstarter and it got funded to the tune of $19,397, which would basically get him a plane ticket that would go past the North and the South Pole to prove to Flat Earthers that it can be done. Or we could chat about this guy's Kickstarter, basically a documentary to prove that the Earth is indeed flat. That obviously didn't get funded, and his second project also didn't get funded.
I'm pretty fed up with people not understanding basic science and realizing that the world, the Earth that we live on, is actually flat. And I'm fed up with all these people making jokes and telling flat earthers to go to the edge and jump off. So I'm gonna do it. Put your money where your mouth is and support my reality show and documentary project of going to the edge of the world and jumping off. Probably do a backflip too, and have my camera guy film it.
But guys, would you believe it? I think I may have actually found something that's even crazier than that. This guy right here is Vince White. Now Vince White, someone that obviously believes in something that the majority of us do not, is actually a pretty impressive comic book artist. He is also a colourer, a letterer too, don't you know? He has his own line of comics that he makes as well as publishes, and if I'm honest, this actually makes me pretty happy, by the way guys. Not only has he done a fair few Kickstarters himself, but but he's backed 52 projects too. The guy obviously loves Kickstarter, as do I, and puts in way more than he takes out. Out of the 10 campaigns that he's created, 9 got funded, and for the most part he has delivered. There's a few little ones that still need rewards sent out, but they are newer ones, and therefore I want to give him the benefit of the doubt on those ones. However, slap bang in the middle of his 10 campaigns, you've got campaign number 5, a flat earth comic and card game. Now obviously, besides the front cover taking a little bit too much inspiration from a certain Superman movie, the actual comic itself, which involves a superhero having the power to fly high enough to be able to see the curvature of the earth before realising everything that's been pushed upon you is a lie, was supposed to be released back in May of 2016. And you guessed it, it still has not happened. Now, in all fairness, the idea of the comic itself is actually quite interesting. I already stated that I'm not a flat earther myself, but I do like the setting and the idea of this particular superhero story. It's no different in my eyes than a fictional world or city that you would normally find in a comic book. It goes by its own rules, and it's something that I really do think I could get behind. Regardless, it doesn't matter, as the last update was almost an entire year ago, and it's still not done, even though several campaigns have come after it which are either fulfilled or looking like they are going to get fulfilled. So, what is actually going on here? Well, if we actually go and look at that update that was almost a year ago, it paints quite a weird picture. It reads that apparently he has been receiving death threats, break-ins, stalkers behind his house, and he's had to relocate. Is any of this true? Well, maybe, but there was just no proof of any of it. In one of the more recent YouTube videos, he talks about this a little bit more in the comments section. He got given threats not to finish his book, his house was broken into, and everything else. But again, no proof. So I took it upon myself to get some answers. I found the guy's personal account via social media, and after seeing page after page of what he would class as proof to the flat earth theory, I did in fact get a response from him, and we went into some rather lengthy details as to what exactly happened. And well, let me tell you guys right now, it's pretty weird. Now, everything that has been told to me comes with no proof yet again, and I will give you my opinion at the end. And guys, please do let me know down below if you believe him. So yeah, the Flat Earth book is on its way. He was very happy to show me some of the work that he'd done on the project, explaining that he is indeed very close to completion. In fact, the new expected release date is June of this very year. Anyway, shortly after it was funded, as you would expect, a project created by a flat earther about flat earth started getting flack from people that believe the theory is a bogus concept. And one individual in particular went one step further, desperately trying to get more information on Vince, threatening him over Facebook Messenger. He tried to find out where the guy lived, and worst of all, started to accuse Vince of sleeping with his wife. And he even said that he had proof that he'd done it. The communication between the two would go on getting very heated, as he stated that if Vince was to release this comic book, he would ruin Vince's career. It eventually grew into threats about me completing the comic, and that I shouldn't. The threats were to ruin my comic career if I worked on the book. Eventually, I came home one day to find my patio door opened. Yep, in Vince's eyes, the guy had found out where he'd lived, broken into his house, not taken anything, just broken into his house, and that scared Vince and his wife so much that they relocated and pushed the comic aside. There was plenty more that we talked about, like how YouTube's algorithm was going against him and the flat earth community, and how he was the original flat earther to receive these sort of threats. And in my opinion, the conversations between Vince and the stalker, yeah, I kind of believe that they did happen, although I've again got no proof, only because a project like this would seriously bring in the internet trolls, and I don't think this was anything more than an internet troll having a tad too fun. And as for the door being found open, who knows? Did someone actually break in? Maybe. Was it the stalker? I highly doubt it. I really don't think it was that guy, but hey, no proof again. Just like there's no proof that Vince sleeps with this stalker's wife. Like I said, that stalker was just having way too much fun with Vince. Anyway, after speaking with Vince, he did actually update the Kickstarter that very day, and considering he was successful with his other projects, I really do hope and I do feel that he will be able to finish this particular project. Good luck to you, Vince. Good luck. Okay, so here's a fairly recent one for you. Mike Hughes, aka Mad Mike Hughes, originally a limousine driver before working with NASCAR drivers. He was a motorcycle racer and even a stuntman. According to the documentary Rocket Man, which tells the story of Mad Mike Hughes, he was one day watching the Teletubbies, as you do. He fell asleep and dreamt of jumping a limousine, as you do, before he decided to do that very thing, as you do. I've always been very interested in individuals and the way that they choose to live their lives, which is why I create videos like these ones. And Mad Mike Hughes is without a doubt one of the more interesting people that I've come across. A very religious individual, obsessed with his cats and even more interested in his fascination with rockets. Now obviously Mike was a very technical guy beforehand, but at the same time he pretty much became a self-taught rocket scientist off his own back, which resulted in attempt number 1. Yep, Mike is in this rocket, apparently. To be fair, there is a little bit of skepticism here about this, as from what I've read online, no footage of him actually entering the rocket itself actually exists. But hey, the way I see it, conspiracy theorists have got to theorise over something, am I right? Whatever you believe, I'm going to say that yes, he was in the rocket that tore up its parachute and crashed down a tad too hard, which resulted in him not being able to recover properly for about 2 weeks. Now, the real question here is, why? Why did Mad Mike Hughes decide to climb into a homemade rocket that was quite literally built from scraps? Well, besides the whole mad part of his name, of course. And if you expected me to say something along the lines of flat Earth, I will, just not yet.
Oh, hello, I'm Mad Mike Hughes, and I'm in my living room here in Apple Valley, California. This video is to start an actually Kickstarter campaign and explain what this is all about, and to make history and make an exclusive event just for the people on Kickstarter. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to break my record of 1,374 foot, which is the longest jump in Daredevil history, which I set in January of 2014 in Arizona. So what we're trying to do is jump over half a mile with my steam rocket. And I am the only person that's done this since Evel Knievel attempted it 41 years ago in Snake River.
You see, this was the first campaign, Mission Rocket Stage 1, the 1 mile manned rocket jump. The idea is to perform the jump and to make it a bit of an event. He wants to get the rocket over half a mile, and with music, as well as t-shirts and what have you, this second jump will fund that record-breaking attempt. The only problem was that the Kickstarter failed, and it failed hard. This failed Kickstarter didn't stop him though, as he still went ahead with creating his rocket, and it was actually the Flat Earth community that helped him do it. It's not known exactly when, but Mike became a pretty big Flat Earther during this time, and although there are a few people out there that believe he only did this to get the funding, again, I don't believe the theorists. After watching that Rocket Man documentary that I mentioned earlier, he comes across as a chap that is very intelligent at certain things, like building rockets out of scrap metal, but not that good of an actor, and his passion that comes through when he speaks about the Flat Earth community is pretty believable. Anyway, the full-length hour-and-a-half documentary, which is pretty good if I'm honest, builds up to the launch, which yes, did get successfully funded from a GoFundMe sponsor, and spoiler alert here guys, in case you haven't watched it, it didn't work. But then another attempt came in shortly after, and it did. Did he prove that the world was indeed flat? Of course he didn't. The problem was that his rockets were never gonna get him high enough in his eyes to see the curvature of the Earth. For that, he would need $2 million, which is where our third campaign comes into play. And that never hit its funding, and although it shows no backers currently, the documentary did end explaining that his $2 million goal had only reached $65. Which brings us to February 2020, and whilst filming for the Science Channel, Mike went up once again in his homemade rocket, and as you can see, a malfunction came into play straight away, resulting in the parachute coming off and Mike landing full pelt, hitting the ground, which sadly killed him. And that was the end of that. Mike didn't do these crazy jumps because he was a flat earther in the beginning, he did them because of his love of homemade rockets and because of his stuntman past. But still, it was his later beliefs that pushed him down the path to keep pushing further and further, and those jumps were at least partially funded by the flat earth community. Hey there guys, thank you all for checking out the video. So yes, I've only shown you 3, there is still a 4th one. I'm going to play that at the end of the video. I'm only putting it there because it's actually taken from an older video, but it's all about flat earth. I couldn't not add it in here and there's no real development, so I'm not going to redo it. Yes, stick around for that. But until then, I want to give a massive shout out to the patrons, which you guys could become if you want to see this. Yes, this is a video I made that was supposed to go up last weekend, but YouTube seriously kicked off about me uploading it, so I couldn't release it. It's just the way it is. So if you guys want to see that particular video and become a part of the awesome Patreon and YouTube member tiers, then, you know, click the links that you see in the description to be able to become Patreon YouTube tiers, see videos like this one early, get to see exclusive Kickscammer videos which happen every single month, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, please consider doing that. But anyway, let's give a shout out to these patrons so you can see that 4th and final clip, with an extra big shout out going to Gary Pinkett, Ryan Burford, Andrew Dalton, Ben Jackson, Jonathan Haywood, Kevin King, Christopher Turnbull, Jeff Mianowski, Elf Daughter Crafts, Richard Aldejic, Shadow Dial, Rovan Army, Ryan Holtz, Retro to Next Gen, Dina, Robertson Dunn, Adam Lefty Taylor, Intrigued Gaming, Tim Labonte, Asobi Quang DX, Tim Lunn, Conrad Constantine, Pretendo64, Creamy Elephant, Blitz Hedgie, Kinglink Reviews, Mike Martin, RetroReversing.com, Angus McChilly, RL Sloan Friendly, Shadow Dragon, Game Apologist, Chris Applin, Wobbles and Bean, The Wonder Ducks, Yelled Hamburglar, Dan Petit, Lucas Softail, Ronnie Method, SSWB, Solix Captor, Jeremy Rodriguez, Nick Pollard, Bram Perez, Marcus Kingamo Cut Tyndall, Richard Carter aka Fantastic Dizzy, Todd Paul Float G, Petty Mew, Dina81, Trans Rights, and Samuel Nilsson. Like I said guys, if you want to get your name shown on this big old list of awesome people that support me every month, get to see exclusive Kickscammer videos every single month, see videos like this one early, be part of Discord chats, be part of nerdy discussion chats that we do, just so many awesome things, then you'll be able to click the links down below to do that. And yeah, I highly suggest you do, obviously. Anyway, on to the 4th and final segment for this flat earther video, and yeah, there you go. I hope you guys didn't like it. Until next time, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. This rather clever fellow is Bobby Ray Simmons Jr., better known by his stage name B.O.B. Yes, that moderately successful rapper who had such hit singles as Nothing on You featuring the incredible Bruno Mars, and of course Airplanes featuring the amazing Hayley Williams. Yes, that's me. Not many big hits happened for poor old B.O.B. after these worldwide smashes, mind you, and let's be honest, hearing about them, well, that's not why you're here. Nope. And thankfully for you guys, when Bobby's not creating global smash hits about aeroplanes, he's on a mission to prove that the Earth is flat. Yep, the global superstar, I repeat, the global superstar, actually believes that when he's touring the world, he's doing it on a flat surface with NASA agents at the edge stopping people falling off. So, what does this have to do with Kickstarter? Nothing, because this time we're going to be going back to GoFundMe. For only $200,000, Mr. Simmons here will prove that the Earth is flat with satellites, weather balloons and drones and stuff.
What's up, y'all? It's Flat Earth Bob here. I'm starting this GoFundMe because I would like to send one, if not multiple, satellites as far into space as I can, or into orbit as I can, to find the curve. I'm looking for the curve.
That was before he realised that $200,000, oh, it just wasn't enough, and he changed that end goal to a nice round million. Or should I say, flat million, hey? If you are not following B.O.B. on your social media of choice, then perhaps now is the time to do so. The reason I say this is that B.O.B. often tweets out some rather interesting things. You can find him arguing about his flat earth theory, you got moon landing theories, celebrity cloning, and plenty of other whack job opinions. In other words, if a conspiracy theory exists, Bob probably believes it. And sadly for him, those outlandish beliefs have actually oozed into the rapper's releases. Whereas other bad boy MCs have beef with rival gangs resulting in drive-bys and the occasional mother cussing, B.O.B. ain't got no time for that whack fake news, and instead he created the song Flatline, which was his way of dissing the psychiatrist Neil deGrasse Tyson, who just so happens to be the scientist that tried to explain to B.O.B. that the world isn't flat, right in front of B.O.B.'s worldwide homies on Twitter. But that's not all he raps about. You got the Holocaust denial, mirror lizards, Freemasons, indoctrinating young people, and best of all, how science is actually a cult. So where does this leave Flat Earth Bob's GoFundMe page? Well, it leaves it far, 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 far from its $1 million goal. However, it does surprise me that 229 people actually believe in the experiment. But hey, they actually do. So, will Bobby ever hit his goal? No, of course he won't. Well, not without a wish right now. 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 Wish right now.
I wanna take you for a ride.